Nice to meet you. My name is Brandon.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Adon.
Jared.
And I'm Amelia. What does strength training mean to you?
I think strength training is the exercise that leads to bigger size of muscles and also increases anaerobic capacity or endurance.
What do you think strength training is?
I think strength training is training to get big as well as stay healthy.
Strength training to me is just having an overall better, healthy lifestyle and feeling good. To me, strength training is to get stronger.
All right, what is strength training to you?
Strength training is the best way to relieve stress. For the pump.
For the pump.
I believe strength training is any type of weight-bearing exercise, and eventually it'll improve your strength and honestly your overall capability to perform your daily tasks. You know, I feel like that kind of sets a good foundation to any other type of fitness goals you have. So I think that's like the core of everything else you kind of want to achieve.
So what is a fitness trend? A trend is defined as something that's going to headed towards a direction. However, in the United States, with the ACSM guidelines, strength training has been rated number 4 in the fitness trend category. As a student at Cal Poly Pomona, we are educated to know about strength training and also fitness trends that are going around in America. As a student, we are already educated as to know about the benefits of it. So as we know the benefits when it comes to health promotion, we know the benefits when it comes to exercise science. As a student, I have learned that there are many benefits, even mental benefits when it comes, and health benefits and physical benefits when it comes to and strength training. The more research that I've studied, the more research that I've done, it only elaborates and only proves that that strength training is beneficial to people of all ages. And with the recent times been going on, obesity rates has been rising dramatically. That's why fitness trends have been even more popular, what have been going on. Strength training is recommended number 4 in the ACSM and has been able to reduce the obesity rates that have been going on in the country, along with cardiovascular exercises and other strength training regimens, and also other fitness trends that have been going on.
And in addition to muscular gains, it is also possible to work on aerobic fitness depending on how you use resistance training. Now, by definition, I mentioned earlier that it involves the use of weights, the machines, or even resistance bands, but really, by definition, it's just a load that's resisting. It could be anything, even to some extent, body weight. The good thing about resistance training is that it targets all muscle groups. You can use weights resistance to target shoulders, whatever you want, legs, head to toe. So chronic strength training has been shown to decrease the risk of CVD and developing other CVD risk factors. In addition to that, it's also been known to aid in one's weight management. As I mentioned before, typically people who do these types of exercises are going to use some kind of weights. These weights can be bands, like I said, but also let's not forget about the dumbbells and the barbells. Now, anyone who does these specific kinds of programs, when they're prescribed resistance training, it's going to be tailored to whoever needs it and what their needs are, and everyone's needs are going to be different. So strength training, you don't need any fancy equipment. As we take a look at the older populations can use anything ranging from cans that you have in your pantry and cupboards to boxes that are filled with stuff. I don't know, it depends on the strength of the person, if they want to be lifting, things like that. But those offer resistance as well. Now, strength training is also involved in many components of fitness tests that are recognized nationally by clinical experts. For example, the YMCA bench press test is a great example of muscular endurance. It focuses primarily on muscular endurance, emphasizing the fact that you're going to do a low percent of your 1 RM, but a high amount of reps. Now, strength training is readily available and can be adapted to anybody, and this is why the ACSM has it ranked so highly on its fitness trends, and it'll continue to be like that for a while.
The contraindications for resistance training, there are certain guidelines that you should follow before starting this type of program. For example, according to the ACSM, people who experience 2 or more risk factors who are asymptomatic should be tested for vigorous activity. Any individual who is at high risk and is symptomatic should consider seeing a doctor and getting tested before continuing with resistance training programs. It can can be dangerous to perform these activities at high risk because severe events can occur, such as a heart attack. So are there certain groups of populations that should not participate in resistance training? For the most part, strength training is beneficial for most groups and the population, even from young adults to older adults. It is important to consider the intensity levels allowed for different types of groups though, because the intensity levels for a younger adult or a middle-aged man or an older adult might be different. An example is to make sure older adults aren't performing incredibly strenuous high-intensity training unless they were cleared to do so, unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, aka Swole God. But strength training is beneficial for most groups. According to a fitness article called Spark People, it has many health benefits such as preventing osteoporosis, increasing strength, weight control, and improving your ADLs. As many may know, America's population has a disgusting overweight problem, so promoting resistance training would help combat this growing issue.
Strength training comes in at number 4 on ACSM's most popular trends. Why might people want to incorporate strength training anyways? Some overall benefits to strength training into your everyday life includes, number 1, it improves bone density. As you age, you decrease in bone density, therefore it can lead to things such as osteoporosis and osteopenia. Number 2, it promotes fat-free body mass. Overall, as we age, our lean muscle mass decreases, leaving more room for fat mass to come in, leaving room for an increase in fat mass, which will eventually lead to many diseases such as diabetes. Number 3, it improves your physical work capacity. Strength training allows for improvement to carry out activities of daily living, which is perfect for our older population. Number 4, overall improves your quality of life. Individuals that should refrain from certain types of strength training are people that are injured and kids. On that note, there's a lot of controversy with this statement. For kids, strength training is seen as controversial because certain strength training exercises, such as weight-bearing types of strength training, causes damage to their growth plates, leading to injury, abnormal bone development, and muscle injury. But through ongoing research, and particularly a study done by Dahab and his colleagues, supervised strength training, proper technique, periodization, and overall knowledge about strength training can actually benefit the child. A common misconception is the elderly shouldn't be allowed to participate in strength training because it's dangerous. Much like I talked about with kids, with proper type of strength training, using water bottles, for instance, instead of free weights, can actually assist with helping activities of daily living for the elderly.
So strength training, as we know, it builds muscle strength, it builds muscle mass, but more importantly, it also preserves bone density, which can increase independence with age, especially when we get older. And a few other benefits of strength training is that we see a lot of muscle strength, flexibility, and dynamic balance, which targets our main health-related components. And benefits don't just include the physical benefits, but also mental health as well. So we can see a lot of factors such as self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-efficacy. We can also see that strength training reduces the risk of osteoporosis and other signs and symptoms of numerous chronic diseases such as heart disease, arthritis, and type 2 diabetes. And like we mentioned earlier, strength training is greatly beneficial to the older population as well. So aside from the great benefits like preventing osteoporosis and increasing bone density, we can also see from studies that strength training has reduced the amount of falls in older people. So some of the biggest injuries that we see in the older population are due to falls. So by adding some type of strength training to one's daily routine, one can significantly limit their chances of falling. And also as college students, we all know how much we love to sleep. So research has also been shown to significantly improve sleep and reduces depression. So overall, strength training is beneficial to all populations and offers numerous physical and mental health benefits.
The presentation today, we are going to experiment with deadlifts. So our participant Brandon will be performing deadlifts. He's going to keep his legs shoulder width apart. He will trace the bar close to his legs using the power from his legs instead of his back. The spine should be neutral and should not be flexing or extending. He has a choice to use a conventional grip or a supinated grip. If lifting heavier loads, he will bend his knees and use his leg muscles of the lower body to exert anaerobic force. The goal is to lift the weight to his waist at a full stand. After the completion of the repetition, he will lower the weights slowly and safely.
Alright, so we have Kelly here on the leg press. So first off, she will sit on the machine with her back and head against the padded support. Her feet will be placed on the foot plate about hip to width apart, ensuring that the heels are flat. When she comes down, she'll bring the weight down and her legs will create a 90-degree angle. And then she'll bring the weight back up and then clasp onto the seated assist handles to make sure that the weight stops.
Our lab rat Brandon will be performing the feet for us. For preparation, grasp dumbbells for in front of the thighs with elbows slightly bent. Bend over slightly with hips and knees bent slightly. Raise upper arms to the sides of the elbows. You are using your middle fibers of your deltoid. This exercise is highly recommended for youth and adults. And if you are experiencing angina, you should stop and see a physician.
So for this next exercise, it's called the TheraBand shoulder front raise, which is also in the standing position. Stand on the middle of the band under your feet. Grasp the ends of the band, lifting upward, keeping your elbows straight and thumbs up. Stop at shoulder level, hold, and slowly return. Here's a little tip. Try to keep your shoulder blades down and avoid shrugging your shoulders. Keep your back straight. These last two exercises are great for all populations.
All right, so what do you guys think about the whole research that we all did?
So the first misconception that I had in mind before starting this project was that there's only meatheads that enter the gym, which isn't really true because a lot of people go to the gym for health purposes, for gains, and just a better lifestyle.
Okay.
The misconception I thought about was the whole misconception about children, that weight training is bad for them and kids stunt their growth and things like that. But that's something I learned after research that it's actually untrue. So.
Okay.
So one of the misconceptions I came across was that like older adults can't do strength training, but in reality they can use like daily living like objects like water bottles to like use them as like natural weights, you know.
Yeah.
So that was something I came across.
Okay.
And then what I thought is kind of similar to that, when you think of resistance training, even myself, like before I've learned more about it, you like to think that you need like really big heavy weights, when really there's like, you can use your own body to do so much. Like you can do bands, and bands are perfect for, you're less likely to injure yourself in that way anyway, and then you don't need to like be super intense, as long as something is like a load is holding you back, you know what I mean? It'll be fine.
No, same here. I also thought to myself that sometimes at some different ages we're too frail. Like let's say an older population, let's say it would be too much damage, but actually it's very beneficial compared, like it's very beneficial as in it helps them with their bone health and actually keeps them stay active longer and healthier. Also with the young children too, like I thought, you know, as growing up you hear about, you know, children just having weights that they'll stunt their growth, but actually it's beneficial with them also.
Those myths. That's what's kind of cool about this kind of like exercise in general, especially resistance training and strength training. You can tailor it so perfectly to the population that needs it the most. Whether you're losing muscle or you need bone health.
As Kin majors, we're already aware of the benefits of physical exercise. It's just that after these research articles, we are even more aware of how the benefits of it actually benefits all ages.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you guys think that like this trend will last?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be one of the top trends.
I mean,
for years.
It's been around for decades now, and then even back in the era of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then too, you got it's lasted this long, right? So yeah, it's been
for the pump.
Yeah, it's for the pump.
As long as there's people that want to be healthy, and as long as there's vanity.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Strength training,
As long as there's steroids, you know.
We frown upon that.
We frown upon that, yeah.
We do.
We do not encourage steroids.
So longevity is a yes.
Yes.
It is definitely increased.
So yeah, overall, we did learn a lot from this project.
And that concludes our statement. Thank you.
Thank you.